Hey y'all, I'm Chris Guthrie.
And I'm Caleb Guthrie.
And we're about to take you
Beyond the lights.
And we're here with Coach Drew Akins of the Walker Valley Mustangs here in Cleveland, Tennessee. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How y'all doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Coach, I just wanted to start off the show with asking you your background on coaching and how you got to Walker Valley.
Yeah, it's a fun story. My story, to me, starts in youth league. It's funny that we just got done with the youth league game, and that's where I'm kind of coming from. We had 5U, 7U, 9U, 11U, and I feel like my story starts there. My love of the game. I learned from Billy Deering, how this game is just a fun game, and you can go bond with your boys and just have a blast. And then, I played for my dad in high school, Robert Akins. I played at Boyd Buchanan, which is a private school in Chattanooga. Went to 3 state championship games with my dad as my head coach, which is a really cool thing, just to experience. Get to experience your dad as your head coach, but also the successes of going to state championship games and winning one state championship with him is one of the great experiences of my life. Went to Carson Newman, which is a Christian college up in Jefferson City. I played for Ken Sparks. Ken Sparks is one of the best men to ever coach the game, but also, just taught me so much about what it means to be a coach. His favorite question, and I hated it as a player, but his favorite question was, "Hey man, how's your heart?" And as a player, I was like, "Man, I don't care, coach. All I care about is playing the game." But what Coach Sparks understood was your heart is what determined the way you play. Your heart determined everything. If your heart wasn't right, then you weren't going to be able to play the game on the field the right way. And he understood that. So that taught me that. And as a 39-year-old coach, now I'm like, okay, I get it, Coach Sparks. You're right. As a coach, I started coaching at Ooltewah High School. I had a great experience, coached under some great head coaches there with Benny Monroe, Shannon Williams, and Mac Bryan. Was offensive coordinator there. I was lucky enough to win Offensive Coordinator of the Year 3 times during my time at Ooltewah. And then I moved to Red Bank and had a great experience at Red Bank. Some unbelievable players. And again, kept winning Offensive Coordinator of the Year in our region 3 more years, and then had the opportunity to interview for this job. It was probably my 6th or 7th interview. And it was the one interview for a head job that I didn't know anybody. I just kind of went in and said, "Hey, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's cool." And I got it. And it was one of those things that was just like a really special thing. And it's kind of led us into great things. And now my son's ruining the shot here, but let's just bring him in since he's going to be here. This is my son, Lachlan. And man, we just kind of built a family here. And we built a life here, and it's been a fun place, and it's been fun to watch it grow. We're hoping to still grow.
Coach, your experience here and everything that you've built here so far, what's this place mean to you?
When I think about this place, I think about some of the struggles that we've gone through. When we took Walker Valley over in 2019, they were 1-19, and they hadn't had a history of winning. So when you take over a program that perennially has really struggled to win ball games, you're going to face some adversity. And I think the biggest thing when we first took it over was just changing the mentality. Making failure not be fun.
Yeah.
I think part of the thing you do is when you fail a lot, when you're 1-19 and you have that adversity, you put up defense mechanisms. And I think one of the defense mechanisms this place had was we joke about it. Because if we joke about it, it doesn't mean as much. It doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
So breaking that culture was a big thing. But again, we just kind of made roots here. The people involved, the families involved, the players involved. It's just become home, and to watch how it's gone from where it was when we took it over to where it is now. A respected program, a program that people really have to take seriously. It's been a lot to me, but it's also been a lot of fun for us. So, and now, taking on new adventures like starting the youth league and having youth league every Saturday, Our middle school program is building so great this year. They're already undefeated. I think they're 6-0, 7-0. They're playing great football. So it becoming a K-12 program here in the last year has been really special, and it just shows that the job is never done. There's always more to do. So we're always going to try to keep pressing forward.
We'd love for you to have a show us around. Let's transition to the locker room.
Yeah, man. Let's go in there. There's a lot going on. I got my kids here, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's a lot of cool things we got going on in here.
Locker room. Coach, I just wanted to say these uniform combos are awesome. I love it. The question I wanted to ask you is, when the guys step out of here from the locker room and into the MAC, like, what identity do you want them to carry with them onto the field?
Yeah, first and foremost, like, if we do anything right, man, it's the way we dress. I'm a big believer in you look good, you feel good, you play good. So we try to look good. We try to do unique things. The baby blues are new this year. They're my favorite. And we're going to add, I'm hoping to add some pant but that's just kind of, I believe that you put your guys in the best. And our guys respond to that really well. When we talk about Friday nights, man, we have built a culture around 5 words. And we kind of live every day around these 5 words. And I think they encompass everything that you need to be a great team. And for us, it starts with discipline. How you do anything is how you do everything, in my mind. So we talk a lot about what discipline is, and I hope you would hear when we say, hey, man, what is discipline to one of our players, that you'd hear doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, and how it's supposed to be done. And that's anything. That's walking the hallways. That's going to class. That's going to tutoring. That's your lockers. You know, we ask them to keep their lockers a certain way. Everything that you do has to be done with discipline. And the reason that we say that, we're not always the most talented team. We have some really talented players, but we're not always going to be the most talented team on the field. And when you're not the most talented team, I believe that discipline is what sets you apart. Discipline is what takes you to the next level and allows you to compete in games where you're not the most talented team on the field. We've proven that time and time again with teams that are way more talented than we are, but we are competitive throughout the game, and even have found a way to win 2 or 3 of them because we're the more disciplined football team. One of my favorite wins in my career is 2020. We beat Powell, the number 2 team in the state at the time, first round of the playoffs. They had a Mr. Football semifinalist, but they had 5 turnovers, and they had a bunch of mistakes, and we didn't have, I think we had 2 penalties the whole night. And just our team played with such great discipline, and we beat a team really we had no business being on the field with, but our kids were more disciplined. And that always is a great story for me because they had kids that went to Cincinnati and Tulane and Tulsa and all these places, Tennessee Tech, all these Division I kids, and we didn't have anyway go sign Division I, but our discipline is what took us to the next level. Commitment, discipline, commitment is the second word. Commitment is how willing are you to buy into what we're preaching. So one of our words with commitment is, are you going to buy into the words that we say? And the more our kids buy into us having their ear, the better success we tend to have. How committed are you when it gets difficult? We talk a lot about adversity in our program. You're going to experience adversity in life. Are you committed no matter what happens to fight through that and to do things that other people won't do because they're going to quit, but you're so committed that it doesn't matter what you have to go through, you're going to finish the job. Toughness. Toughness is kind of self-explanatory, man. That you can't play this game without toughness. But honestly, you can't live life without toughness. It goes back to the adversity thing that I was just talking about. Whether you ask for adversity, sometimes we make decisions, and that decisions cause adversity in our life, right? And then there's other times where just life on this earth we're not promised anything, and we're not promised a great life. We're actually promised adversity. If we're living a Christian life, we're going to walk through adversity. So how tough are you going to be in life to fight through that? Whether you ask for it or whether it's given to you to test your faith, either way, you're going to experience it. So toughness is so important. Effort, great effort, relentless effort. We talk about straining your gut. You play so hard that you feel it in your body. Effort is such a determining factor on the football field. But again, I believe all these words translate into life. And then the last one is pride. How much pride do you have in what you do? How much pride do you have in the brothers around you? How much pride do you have in Walker Valley? In something bigger than yourself. And again, that translates to life with family. How much pride do you have in your family that, when no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that my family is successful, that my family is provided for. Those are the things that we're trying to teach our boys. And luckily, we get to play a game and we get to coach a game and teach those life lessons.
Coach, going off of that, what is your mindset on Friday nights when you come in here and you have to tell these kids to go play like a Bradley Central or a Cleveland High School and get these kids ready to play ball? What's your mindset and what's your rituals that you do on Friday nights?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, one of the hardest things to me, I grew up with intrinsic motivation, right? I had a fire burning inside of me that I didn't need anything external. I didn't need something special for me to want to go play. I think it's unique to find that nowadays. Yes. I think kids need some kind of external motivation to go play a game. Luckily, in 2025, we have a group that is intrinsically motivated. So my current mindset is, hey, how do I pour gasoline on a fire that's already burning, right? Because we got a bunch of kids that have a fire burning, and they are intrinsically motivated to go do something special. So I'm always looking for gas. I'm always looking for something to pour on that fire. And ultimately, the second part of that is, intrinsic motivation is something that is necessary. And how do we create some extrinsic motivation as well? I think the second thing that's unique to kids nowadays is they care more about somebody else than they care about themselves. If you find a group of kids that care more about the people around them than they care about themselves, man, you got a special group. And I think that's unique. It doesn't happen with kids nowadays. Everything is so selfish and so instant gratification that if you find a group of kids that don't care about the instant gratification, that only care about, doing great so that somebody else can be glorified, man, that's a special group. And luckily right now, I feel like we have that as a football team. I think our guys have the intrinsic motivation and they have care for the people around them. So my job is to make sure when we walk out of this building, no matter who the opponent is, that we are playing to a standard. So that's what we talk about. We don't talk about who we're playing. We don't talk about the extrinsic, external motivation. We don't have to talk about playing for your brother because we already do those things. We talk about a standard of how we play. And I told you where we came from. We came from 1-19 to now we're at a place where we're almost favored to win several of our games. So how do you walk into a game where you're favored to win 90%? You're 90% favorite. And the way we do it is we talk about a standard of play. You have to play to a certain standard of discipline. You have to play to a certain standard of effort. You have to play to a certain standard of commitment and toughness and pride. And if you don't play to that standard, you're going to know it no matter what a scoreboard says.
Yes, sir.
And if you allow a scoreboard to determine your success, which I did for a long time. I'm 39 years old, man. Until I was 37, maybe 36, 37, I allowed a scoreboard to tell me my self-value, my worth. And I think over the last few years, I've realized, no matter what a scoreboard says, if it tells you you're successful and you didn't do it the right way, then are you really successful? So we talk about a standard of play. And if you hit the standard, no matter what a scoreboard says, you are successful in what you did.
Thanks for having us here in the locker room. Let's move on and transition to the weight room and go.
Let's rock and roll, man.
as we know, the weight room is for building strength and discipline. What role do you see accountability with the work that these guys put in this weight room?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, man, our strength and conditioning guy, JD Dunbar, is the standard bearer. So, in the last room, we talked about playing to a standard. Coach Dunbar lives to a standard. And if you don't meet his standard, you're going to hear about it. He is black and white, and that is it. You either did the task, you either met the standard, or you didn't. And I think the discipline of that really matters. And I think because of that, man, you see our strength numbers have just grown and grown and grown. I think our guys come in here and they lift heavy weight. We squat. I think we're big time squat program. That's the first lift of our week every single week. And he builds everything around that lower body squat movement. And because of that, we've seen our strength numbers just absolutely explode. Coach Dunbar's done this for a long time. And man, you talk about accountability. And so, we're talking about bigger picture stuff. Coach Dunbar would love to go through, hey, this is what lift we do on Monday and Tuesday. And this is how we, talk about building the chain. What I see from it is, as a coach, I get to put somebody around me that does something great that I can't do great. So when I think about the weight room, and it holds me accountable, the things that I don't do well, I've got to put people around me that do things well. And I think that's a great model of a team. There's certain things that I do really well. There's certain things as a head coach, as a leader, that I feel like I do exceptionally. And there's some things that I know for a fact I don't do this well. So my job, if I wanted to just have yes men around me, then I wouldn't hire people like Dunbar. I wouldn't hire people that do things better than me because I'd be scared that somebody would see that they do that better than me. And I think this room is a great example of that, because Coach Dunbar is somebody, I can walk past a rack and not see that the bar is not the height it's supposed to be, or missing a 2.5. Like, I don't see that. Coach Dunbar sees that. So he is a great compliment to me in the things that I do well. He doesn't do as well, and the things that he does elite, I don't do as well. And I think I think we've built a culture and a coaching staff and a team that really feeds off each other. And we're willing to say, hey man, you do this better than me, so you go do it right now. And I think when I think about accountability, this room is a great example of that. Not only in what we do well and what we don't do well, but man, making sure, like, if we say 8 reps, our team is calling out people that don't do 8 reps. And here's my biggest belief in that. When you talk about accountability, if nobody leads a team, you will not be a successful team, period, if there's no leadership. If coaches lead the team, you will have an average team. If you're talented, you'll have an average team. Man, when the kids start leading the team and the kids start being accountable to each other, that's when you have elite teams. And that's what you try to build, in my opinion. And here, through strength programs, you build accountability to each other.
Coach, looking back on the board back here, and you said you took over in 2019, the success that you've had from 2019 and all the kids that you've coached, do you think the weight room is where it all started?
Yeah, I think our strength program has had such a huge hand in everything we've done. If you know, nothing tells the truth like a weight room. And Coach Dunbar says it best, in my opinion. 45-pound weight is 45-pound weight in here. It's a 45-pound weight down the street. It's a 45-pound weight across America. And you can't lie in here. You either can lift that 45-pound weight, or 2 or 3 or 4, or you can't. And that the weight room tells the truth. And I think it's so hard to be elite in this game if you don't work your tail off in here. Because again, it goes back to everything that we preach in our program. If you're going to work your tail off in here, it's a discipline thing. If you're disciplined enough to do something that other people don't want to do, then you're going to get rewards that other people don't get. Yeah. And I think that's a great life lesson, man. When you talk about these guys, and man, the guys that are on that board are special. They're special kids. Tucker Pope was one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever had here. He's the guy that kind of made the transition happen.
Yeah.
You know, when Tucker, if I came here and Tucker wasn't here, I'm not sure we have the success that we have. But Tucker was a weight room fiend. He lived in here. He like bled and breathed. Like everything he did was based around being in here. His success was so built around this. You look at Eli Denton. Eli Denton is our career tackle leader. He came in as a freshman and he bought into the weight room so much, and because of that, he's now having success in NAIA football. He's started every game in his career from 6th grade football all the way through his junior year of NAIA football. Like, how special is that? And you can't do that if you don't take this room serious. So the quote that Nick Saban says, it's one of my favorite quotes, is you wake up every morning with things that you want to do that you know are going to hurt you. So are you disciplined enough not to do it? And then the other side is you wake up with something you don't want to do, but you know if you do it, it'll make you a better person. Are you willing to go do it? And this room is a model of that. This room, man, in the grind in June and July when it's hot and you don't want to be doing this, you don't have a game, you don't have anything right here, immediate gratification, this room is going to determine who's going to be successful. And luckily, you know, you look at some of the successes we've had here since 19, you know, we've had guys that bought into this room. And because of that, we've had a ton of success.
Coach, we're here standing inside the middle of the MAC here. This is where all the magic happens on Friday nights, where the fans get to see and everything just comes together. What's the atmosphere like here on Friday night?
I tell you what, man, it has changed so much over the 7 years I've been here. You know, I think year one, we couldn't worry much about atmosphere because we were just worried about putting a product on the field. You know, we would get done. It was funny. We'd get done in 19 with games. They'd be like, hey, great job. And we'd go in the coach's room. We'd be like, man, we lost by 14 points. We lost by 21 points. Like, yeah, but y'all didn't get run ruled. It was a great game. Like, that was kind of the standard of what we were taking over. So, you know, it's been cool to watch it progress and change and get to where it is now. And where it is now, you know, me and our athletic director, we kind of liken it to a circus. If you brought in a Ferris wheel, it would fit in. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So we've created an atmosphere that is, I modeled it off a collegiate atmosphere, where we're recognizing sponsors and donors and people that pour into our program. You know, it costs a lot of money to run a program. And I'm so thankful as you look around this facility and you see all these companies that have bought into our program and understand that we're teaching football and this is a great platform. But also, man, we're teaching life, and all of these people are impacting individual kids. So we try to recognize sponsors all the time. We try to make it fun for students. You know, at the end of ball games is one of my favorite times because, you know, after win or lose, it doesn't matter. It's a lot more fun after wins. But after win or lose, we go down to our band bleachers, and it's our football team goes down, our coaching staff goes down, our students come out, our cheerleaders and our dance, and everybody that's involved in Friday nights. And when you look at the picture of that, there's 400, 500, 600 kids that are down in this end zone, and we're celebrating a win. And it's so much fun to watch our kids celebrate wins. And then we lock arms and we hold it, you know, arms around each other, and we sway back and forth and we sing the alma mater. And it's just a really cool thing that has become a tradition here that means a lot to our kids and to our school. And every time that we do it, I feel like we're putting our culture on display. And when I say culture, I don't mean our program culture. I feel like our school culture is on display. And our term is One Valley, which means that everybody in this thing is in this together. And those moments is where it feels most palpable, where you can really feel that One Valley is such a thing, because there's so many people that are involved in a great win. So the atmosphere here, I believe, is second to none. We've created a really cool thing Everything we do is pointed and planned and organized really well. And ultimately, we want to create a great experience for our fans, for our band, for our youth, but ultimately for our team. And it needs to be special, and it is different. And Friday nights at the MAC are a special thing, and it's really cool to be a part of.
So, Coach, just to kind of go off of what he said with the atmosphere and everything, and then transition into that to like the leadership and what you want your kids to remember about this place and you as and your coaching staff, like what legacy and life lessons do you want to like leave with them when they graduate here?
Yeah. You know, that, like I said in there, and then we'll recap a little bit of the stuff we've already said, but you know, ultimately, you know, this we get to coach a game, and man, like games are awesome, but I believe this game is unique, and it's unique in the fact that there's several things. It takes 11 dudes doing their job so that somebody else can be successful. 10 guys are going to do their job so one guy can get the glory. Man, that's a different game. One great basketball player can take a game over and he can go win it for his team because he's better than everyone else, right? A pitcher can stand on the mound in baseball and he can throw a no-hitter and nobody behind him has to do anything. But in this game, if one person doesn't do what they're supposed to do, man, it all falls apart. And I think that's a great example of just doing things so that somebody else can get glory and somebody else can get success. So I think that's one thing that's special about the game of football. I think another thing, man, we work 5-10 times more than we get to celebrate it. Payday only comes 10 times a year in football. You know, in baseball, I see baseball, high school baseball teams that have 50, 60, 70 games, right? Basketball teams, same thing, you know, 30, 40 games. We get 10, and you have to practice 5 days a week to get one payday. And it's so different where, you know, the adversity that's involved in that. So you ask what I hope our players leave with. And this kind of ties into my testimony and what I believe that life's all about. And we've kind of hashed through it a little bit. But I can dive a little deeper in kind of what that is. And life is going to throw you adversity. And I think the adversity that I've experienced in my life has made me the man that I am today. And I want kids to know when they hit that adversity, there's two ways you go. You can either quit and give up, or you can press forward. Those are the only two options when adversity hits. So my story is, I feel like it's unique. You know, I had two wonderful kids. My oldest kid, Brinley, was 12 years old. My son is 8 years old. When they were younger, we had a surprise pregnancy. Had no idea, you know, we weren't trying. We thought we were done. It was difficult for us to get pregnant with the first two. We were given a 0% chance to get pregnant on our own. So we just thought it wasn't in the cards. We had two and we felt satisfied. We felt happy. And then we had a surprise pregnancy and we were so excited. We found out that it was twin girls and we named the girls and we had all these things planned for them. And at 20 weeks, Kayla went to the doctor and I was here at school and I remember it like yesterday. I got a phone call and the only thing I heard her say was, we lost both. And when she said that we lost them both, man, it was like a knife was shoved into my chest. And that was not adversity that we asked for. And we questioned God and said, hey, like we thought we were done. We were happy with where we were and felt like you created a miracle in our life and then took it away from us. And we want to know why. And fighting through that adversity, I truly believe that the game of football taught me the lessons to deal with that adversity. And man, that was the hardest time in our life. It was the hardest time in our marriage. And to go through the other side and decide, hey, that's not how we want our story to end. And now, you know, we have Berkeley. Berkeley's about to turn 3, and she is the perfect balance of a terror and so much fun. But Berkeley wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the twins. And our story has helped so many other people. I can't tell you how many phone calls we've gotten from friends of mine that went through the same thing. A cousin of mine went through the same thing, and I was their first phone call because they knew I'd gone through it, and now I'm able to help them. So I want our players to leave here knowing that adversity is going to hit, and you have two choices. And I want there to be one choice for kids that went through Walker Valley program. I want there to be one choice, and that choice is we're going to press forward, and we're going to trust in God, and we're going to believe in His plan. And even though we can't see the good in something, eventually God is going to work it for good. And we can't allow what the devil does in our life to create adversity to make us question our faith and question God's goodness. And I believe that is what I want our players to leave understanding. So, that's my testimony. That is my faith. That is where it came from. There's been low patches, and there were times that I thought, man, it's not worth it. And times where I said, man, God, I don't understand what you're doing. And then you get a phone call from a lifelong friend that said, hey man, we just lost our kid at 20 weeks. And I know you went through it. What do I need to do? And being able to pastor that friend through that and love that friend through that. I want our players to live that same life. And if they decide to quit, they don't get the joy on the other side of it. And Berkeley is the joy on the other side of it for me. Lennox, our newborn, is a joy on the other side of it for me. So that to me is what football is about. Football is not just a game where we go up and down the field and try to score touchdowns. It is a game that's going to teach you how to live your life. And that's why I love the game so much, because life is so much more important.
Do you mind if we pray for you
Absolutely,
and over your team
man.
and over your family?
Absolutely.
Father God, thank you, God, for this day, this opportunity to come out here and hear what Coach Drew Akins has to say about Walker Valley and about his team and his family. God, we just pray over him, that he continues to pour onto these kids, and that at the end of the day, it's just a game, and you get all the glory no matter what happens. God, we thank you, we praise you, we give you glory. In Jesus' your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate you guys, man. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
All right.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Love you, man.
Love you. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first ever episode of Beyond the Lights. I'm your host, Caleb Guthrie.
And I'm your host, Chris Guthrie.
Stay tuned for our next episode. God bless, and hope you guys have a great day.
Let's do it.